All right, welcome once again. My name is Zainab Oladoja. I'll be your host for today, and we're having our two panelists who will be sharing their study abroad experience with us, how they've been able to walk the walk, and give us some insider tips on how we can also navigate the whole process. Yeah, so I'll be sharing my screen now. So today's session will be discussion basically. We want it to be as interactive as possible with our two panelists. Discussion on how to explore both research and study opportunities in the US and Canada. And let's get right into it. So for today, we don't want to take much of your time. We want it to be as quick as possible, and also everybody gets to learn and take home something from this session. So this is our agenda for today. And we started with the introduction. I'm Zainab, and we have our two panelists, Faith Akindele and Taufik Abdurrahman, who will be represented by Oludare Emmanuel due to some unforeseen circumstances. But we promise that we are going to be getting the same experience as what Scholar Taufik is also be sharing with us today. So we have Faith and Oludare, Scholar Oludare Emmanuel, who will be sharing their story of how they were able to navigate the whole study abroad process, both in the US and Canada. Yes, if you've been following our social media page, we've shared a lot about the scholars. They're currently studying. Faith Akiyemi is currently studying in Canada, Winnipeg, University of Winnipeg, and Taufik is in the University of Georgia. And Oludare, who will be representing him, is also in the University of Georgia. Okay, I think we can get started now. I'll be bringing in the panelists. Then we get started. Scholar Faith, are you with us? Are you ready for us?
Hey, hi everyone. Can you hear me and see me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can see you.
Sounds good. I'm just gonna share my screen.
Okay, let me stop sharing.
Sorry, I'm trying to find my screen. I'm just sharing my entire screen then to it. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, sounds good.
Fine.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you so much, Zena, for the introduction. And thank you for inviting me. My name is Faith Akiyemi, and I'll be talking on exploring research and study opportunities in Canada. And I would like to start with this quote. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams, by Roosevelt. Yeah, I hope that triggers whatever it's supposed to trigger. So yeah, I want you to, I know you believe in your dream for it to be here first. So the future belongs to those who believe in it and those who work according to it. So I'm just going to share a little of my journey to Canada. I came to Canada in 2024 last year. And my journey, I did a bachelor's in Federal University of Katsina State. in Nigeria, and I had a master's also at the University of Ibadan before I came here. But I finished my bachelor's in 2019, and since then I've been like trying to like get an opportunity to come to Canada. I'd always tried the US, but I'd not always gotten a full scholarship. So that's not I couldn't go because of the conception I do hear about Canada that there's not always full scholarship in Canada. There are not a lot of research opportunities in Canada, and so I never tried Canada. But in 2022, I decided to try Canada, and I got in my first attempt. In fact, I only applied to one university, and this is the University of Winnipeg, and I got it. So two things I started taking seriously. First, intentional connection. So one thing I do, and that's even to like schools, to job, where I see myself in like the next 5 years, I start looking for people in that particular position and then start connecting with them, because I've come to understand that they could actually share a post that could lead me to where I want to be actually. So if you notice, most of the scholars or most of people that have gotten opportunities to come outside the country to study, they normally like repost people's people's scholarship posts. And these days you find most professors reaching out or sharing their opportunities on LinkedIn. So it's a good thing to connect. It's a good thing to intentionally, that word intentionally is very important. It's a good thing to intentionally connect. So looking for people at probably University of Manitoba or University of Calgary, just searching for, University of Calgary or master students in applied computer science at the University of Calgary, and then connecting with that person, just looking at the person's journey. If you can ask questions. If you don't want to, you can just connect to the person and see what the person is posting. Maybe the person is posting something that is related and all those stuffs. Apart from that, you could also connect to the professor. So for example, I like this professor's work. I'm connecting with the person just in case the person has maybe a grant or a scholarship or an opportunity that I can get, right? So basically just connecting with that professor and connecting with that professor and just seeing the opportunities. So I just want to confirm, which screen are you seeing? Are you seeing like the two screens, or you're seeing just one slide?
So
Oh, okay.
the
So
two.
I'm just give me a minute. I'm gonna end the show for a while. Can you still see the two screens?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to just share it just to one of my screens. I'm sorry.
Can you go back to the two screens? Go back to the two screens that you were showing before.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We can't see any of it. We can't see any of it right now.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes. Okay. Go ahead and share.
Yeah. So I've shared my second screen. I hope it works. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it does.
Okay. So those are the two. So the second thing I started taking seriously was reaching out to as many supervisors as possible. So for some people, when you speak with them, they're like, I've just reached out to 5 people. I've reached out to 5 schools or 5 supervisors. No, you have to reach out to as many as possible. Like, just continue reaching out until you get that final yes. So just continue reaching out to people, reaching out to supervisors, reaching out to people that you know can help you. So I'm just going to talk about Canada's research landscape. So the normal myth, there's no so much opportunities in Canada, but I think sincerely there are opportunities in Canada because I feel like it's more like an insider news. You don't get to know except you actually try, except you actually like search for this opportunity. You don't get to like see, you don't get to like know that there are opportunities in Canada. So the number of Canadian universities that do hands-on research, they're trying to bridge the theories and the practical. So they do hands-on research, and except to like check for them, search for them, you probably don't know about it. Also, in Canada, you're able to build international networks, and that has shaped my academic and professional path. So beyond research, beyond research, basically, the system is built such that it can help you to shape your academic and professional path. There are a lot of opportunities. So how to find and apply for research opportunities. So first, you can use official portals like educanada.ca or the university website. So a way you can do that is to just search on Google. So for example, I'm taking mechanical engineering, and
You're not seeing
I
your
just go
screen
to,
again now. You're not seeing your screen again.
you can see my screen.
Yes.
It's showing you. It's showing you.
What do you say?
The screen is on now. The screen is on from my
Okay,
end.
maybe
It's
okay.
showing
Yes,
from
now
here.
on.
I can see the screen.
Okay, sounds good. So you can just search on Google top 10 universities that I can study mechanical engineering in Canada, and you'll see a number of universities. So you can start from there. Check the first university. Oh, what do they do? Check their websites. Go through the graduate programs, and we'll dive into that very shortly. Then you can also contact Canadian University research offices. So when you find the particular universities you're looking for, you can contact their research offices or potential supervisors or graduate programs. Then you can tailor your application to highlight how your research addresses Canadian and global challenges. So another thing about being a research student is that you need to look for a problem. You need to look for something that you want to solve, because in this part of the world, you have the opportunity to solve real life issues. So it's not like in probably where we're coming from, where you probably solve some simulated issues. No, you have the opportunity to solve real life issues. You have to handle real life challenges. So you should tailor your application. You should start thinking of, okay, how can I solve real life issues? How can I, where can I even get the real life data? And how can I solve real life issues? So we're just going to dive into one shortly. I took a screenshot of my university's portal. So when you go to the University of Winnipeg portal, you go to admissions. That's the first thing, and most times that's what you see in people's university. So you go to admissions, and from admissions you go to graduate studies. So I'm actually doing this because there might be some people here that don't actually have like an idea of how exactly to go about it. So that's why I'm actually going through this. So when you click on graduate studies, you see a page that shows a number of information, and then you can see ask about graduate programs, graduate program. This is exam. These are for students that are already in already, and then this is like an opportunity where you can attend a seminar where they talk about graduate studies. And November 1st, the graduate program application opens. And so you find those informations when you go to that particular website, and then you click on graduate studies. So for example, I clicked on graduate program. So yeah, I clicked on this graduate program, and then it takes me to select a graduate program. So you see different things: review the program's information, check your eligibility, understand the role of a graduate supervisor and determine if you need one, identify your application timeline. So yeah, when you check each and every one, you see the details there. So for check your eligibility, it probably tells you, oh, this is the CGPA you should have. You should have an English certificate from your university and stuff like that. For program information, it could give you more details about all the graduate programs that you have. For understanding the role of a graduate supervisor, if you want to come in as a research student, it tells you, oh, you need a supervisor if you want to go this pathway, and how you can get one, basically. Then identify your application timeline. It tells you when the application is starting, when it's ending, and yeah, probably when you should also submit your reference. So those are the key informations that you need to note down, basically. So when I clicked on I think I clicked on graduate programs, and it took me here. So it gives me a number of graduate programs that have been taken at the University of Winnipeg. So for example, I'm in computer science, so I pick applied computer science and society. And it shows me this. So it shows me the thesis based and it shows me the course based. Okay, I'm interested in thesis based because I need funding. So what I do is I go to the what's it called? To the department website. So when I go to the department website, I see a number of options. I see home, undergraduate, masters of science, people. So people, this is where you see the professors that are in that particular universities. Also research, when you click on research, you're able to see the research that is being done in applied computer science at the University of Winnipeg. And when you click the people, you see the professors that are probably doing those research. And some of them put in their personal email. And when you go to their personal email, you're able to see more information that, oh, I need a student. I am looking for students that are interested in this, that. And if you feel like, oh, my research interests actually match this person's research interest, then you can go ahead and apply to the person. So the next step, when you found the supervisor, I hope I'm not rushing too much. Please, if I'm rushing, you can just draw me back that, oh, I don't understand that. So when you found the supervisor that you want to work with, probably your research interest is matching that person's research interest. The next thing to do is to send a code email. So this is a sample of code email of somebody that worked with me last year. So for example, dear professor, and this email, the reason why I really like this email among all the emails the person wrote, this email gave him an opportunity to speak with his professor right now in less than an hour, like as soon as he sends that email. Because another thing I need to actually say here is that target the timing. So Canada, and probably you're from Nigeria, Canada and Nigeria, the time difference is about 6 hours right now. So you have to know, okay, and also even in Canada, there are different provinces that have different time zones. So you have to know, okay, the time zone I'm actually applying for, like what time is it right now? Is it in the morning? Is it in the evening? You don't want to send an email in the evening or in the midnight. The professor might probably not find it. It might probably just get swamped in a lot of emails that they get weekly or daily. So you want to send an email, you want to target the time, so you want to target very early in the morning, probably by 10 a.m. or by 11 a.m. when the professor is on their laptop. So yeah, this person says, oh, I hope this email finds you well. My name is this. I'm a recent cybersecurity graduate interested in pursuing research in cybersecurity. I came across a profile on for example, the University of Winnipeg's website, and I wanted to inquire about any opportunity to be a research student. So for this person, in fact, the supervisor didn't explicitly state it on his website that I am looking for a student. It was just, okay, let me just try, because my research matches this person's research. Let me just try and see if it's gonna, if it's a match. And so he said, I wanted to inquire about any opportunity to be a research student. I'm very enthusiastic about the prospect of joining your esteemed research team. I have thoroughly reviewed your research interest and significant contribution to cybersecurity. So this person has gone through the work, he has done the homework, he has checked this person out. Or what's this person doing right now? What paper is this person reading? What's the research goal right now? Because sometimes, the research interest changes. It might not be like a big change, but it might be a little a diversion. So you want to be sure of what the person is actually working on at the moment. So I've reviewed your research interest and significant contribution to cybersecurity, and your research in computer security and privacy aligns well with mine. And my background in networking, information security, and mathematics makes me a suitable candidate. In my previous research, I focused on detection of this, which I've attached for your review. So this person wrote a paper and attached it so that the person can also see how the person's written assessment looks like. So this experience has equipped me with a solid foundation in both machine learning techniques and cybersecurity principles. And I'm eager to expand on this work and explore new dimensions in cybersecurity, particularly in developing intelligent systems that can proactively identify and mitigate cyber threats. So given your expertise and innovative research environment at this university, I believe that my research interest aligns well with your current project, and I'm confident that under your mentorship, I can contribute effectively. So, and then you attach your CV, you attach your research work for the person's reference, and then also prompt the person that, oh, I look forward to the possibility of, discussing further how my background aligns with or can contribute to your research team. So yeah, common mistakes to avoid. First, applying without a clear research plan or a Canadian supervisor contact. So if you want to apply for the research pathway in any university, specifically for Canada, because that's where I am right now, you want to be sure that you've spoken to a supervisor and the person has agreed that, oh, I think I can supervise you. Because that would be like, the person is probably like your spokesman when they're probably like deciding who they're going to give admission. So you want to be sure that, oh, I've spoken to somebody already. Also, another mistake that you want to avoid is sending generic mails to professors. No, you need to tailor every mail to every professor. So because number one, even if it's the same research interest, there's something different. There's a paper they've written, they can't write the same paper. So there's always something different. So you need to send a specific and a custom email to each professor. Also overlooking deadlines and eligibility criteria. So you want to look at the deadline, apply early. I can't even overemphasize that. You need to apply early. You don't want to wait till 1 day or 2 days before applying. Also, you don't need a perfect GPA, you don't need a perfect CGPA. What you need is your passion, your persistence, and your research fit. Those are what matters. Also, people think that, oh, it's too expensive, they don't have any opportunity. Until you search, you really can't say. So many fully funded and partially funded opportunities exist. The only thing you need to do is to search. And my final advice, in looking for a research interest, I want you to connect your studies to a real-world problem. So, for example, I'm working on agricultural problems with machine learning. I've done that in my previous, like when I was in Nigeria. And so I got a supervisor that is doing something related to that. So I read their papers. I saw that, oh, this is what they are doing. Oh, I've done something similar, even though I used a different method. So what I just need to do is to send an email. Oh, I've done something similar before. I'm interested. I know that Canada, probably the particular province, Manitoba, is invested in pea, and I'm interested in getting yield predictions in pea. So looking for a real world problems, because it's a lot of work. You have to do like your background. You have to search for it basically. So searching for that information takes a lot of work. So search for it. Okay, what are they doing in that particular city? What is this person working on? How can I tie my interest with what they're doing in that city, with what this person is working on? So connecting your studies to real world problem really matters. Also, I would say start now. The timeline for fall has opened right now, and it's really a good opportunity. Like, this webinar is coming at the right time. So I'll just say you start now, start searching for the opportunities right now, start looking for those opportunities, start connecting with those people on LinkedIn, start just start connecting, start building up your research interests, dust your books, remember everything that you've studied, everything that you feel like, oh, it could be related, and just go for it. Getting a scholarship is a lot of work, so start early. Thank you so much for listening.
Wow, that was a lot. Thank you so much. Can you guys show appreciation with emoji? Like, that was a lot and concise. Thank you so much. We really appreciate.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll open floor for questions later. Please, you can note your questions down. We'll take it after the next panelist speak with us. So thank you so much, Scholar Faith. Really appreciate. I hope you guys are jotting things down, because this is a lot and she's giving us for free. Okay, I'd like to bring in Scholar Oludare. Are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Okay. Can I be clearly heard, please?
Can anybody hear
Yes,
me,
you can.
please? Okay. I want to know if Scholar Oludare is speaking.
Yes, I'm here. Can I be clearly
Oh,
heard?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. You have the floor now. You can start now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I particularly appreciate the platform for having Scholar Faith come before me, because she really has done justice to quite some specific things, but also some general things that relate to, so making applications to, securing funding opportunities in the US. So I'll just, leverage on that and add some one or two things before we call it a day. But before I start, I would like to know a bit about us. How many penultimate or final students do we have on this platform? Do we have any penultimates? I would need you to kindly signify by reacting. Do we have penultimate or final student, undergraduate student now on this call? Do we have fresh graduates, people that just finished? Okay. Do we have master's graduates who are hoping to get in a PhD position? Okay. Thank you. Okay, I think
I'm a fresh graduate.
oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, thank you. Let me try to share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see it now.
Yeah, we can see research and academic pathways to the USA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah. So basically, just like I said, I'll be building on what Scholar Faith already talked about. And so when it comes to getting to the US through research and academic pathways, like quite a number of opportunities you could, explore to getting down here. And I think the three major ones from my own little experience is, scholarships. You can always have institutional scholarships like the MasterCard in Arizona and several universities they are partnering with the Fulbright scholarship, right? We have research internship and fellowships. I believe this is very much underexploited in Nigeria. But when I had my visa interview, I saw a little of people coming to the US via this route. And I think that is quite some things that people could explore, both as postdoctoral and even as undergraduates. But basically, I'm focusing on institutional specific funding, which is what we all know as graduate research assistantships, graduate assistantship generally, both teaching and research assistantship. So that is what I'll be focusing on in the course of these 10 to 15 minutes that I will be discussing. Okay, so graduate assistantship is more of you getting a position to come study most times in with full tuition and or partial full funding or partial funding now, and you get to work as a research assistant with a supervisor, a faculty who has funding for a particular research. And then you probably sometimes you get paid, sometimes you only have your tuition fee catered for, sometimes you have your tuition fee catered for and you get paid. So I'll just summarize that as either full funding or partial funding, as the case may be. And if you are after, let's say you are a finalist or you just finished your bachelor's degree, you are trying to like transition into master's or PhD, you can try to get something like that. You can get direct PhD from bachelor's, you can get PhD after your master's, you can get a second master's with your master's. So there are no limitations. There are very few limitations if there are any with respect to this. So the main thing is just you being able to like connect with someone who wants to hire you and show that you have all it takes and all that. And one thing I would want us to know is that, as in the case of scholarship where you are writing to people to, give you funding, like some people are just sponsoring your education fully. These people too will be sponsoring your education. But one thing I want you to know is that you'll be working for them. And so it is more of you, pitching your tent in such a way that to show that, okay, I'm a good fit for what you are doing. And I would be a great addition to what you do in your lab. And, taking from what Ms. Faith was saying earlier, you want to sell yourself in a way that shows that, oh, this person will be a great addition to my lab, and that is what you want to do basically. So general admission requirement to getting opportunities like this, I listed many of them, some of them down here. Your academic qualifications. ND is not so popular, but I know people getting into using their HND and BSc and some masters if they want to go for PhD. People get direct PhD from BSc, so that is not an issue. And then your CV and relevant documents, you probably, you need your statement of purpose, you need your international passport. Sometimes you might need to write some standardized tests and English proficiency exam, like the TOEFL and IELTS. And then in most cases you want to show your research experience. I believe we all do have research experience. At least if you have finished your first degree, you have research experience because you did your undergraduate project, and in some cases if you have some additional ones, right? And then one thing which is very important is your interest alignment. Just like Ms. Faith was saying, you probably not know to rejoice if you have gotten to where you are going if you don't have a predefined destination you are going to, right? So it's better for you to know, okay, these are the things these are the things I think I can do, and these are between one A, B, or C. These are the areas I'm likely going to, and that is what helps all your application process. That is when you know, okay, I have this kind of thing that makes me a good candidate for this kind of program. So you have to be able to focus on. You have to be able to divine your research interest and focus on making applications to schools and institutions and faculty whose interest aligns with yours, right? And in some cases, you probably want to share your relevant extracurricular activities and some other skills that you've obtained while engaging in those things. So I'll just run through the general steps that I will advise you go to if you want to secure a graduate assistantship, either a teaching assistantship or a research assistantship. And the first one is you have to be able to define your research interest. Now, this goes far beyond just knowing this is what I want to do. Take for example, I studied plant breeding and seed technology in FUNAB, and amongst many other things I wanted to do, I wanted to do quantitative genetics and plant breeding. I wanted to do resistance breeding. So I had quite a number of things to do. So I had 3 or 4 things okay, if I'm not doing this, I would like to do this. If I don't do this, I would like to do this. If I don't do this, I would like to do this. And that is what determines the schools, the faculties that you reach out to, right? Because largely in the US, you should, like all schools that we have, you make formal applications, right? But just like Ms. Faith said, as in the case of Canada, it is also very important for you to, in most cases, there are some cases where you can be advised to, make your formal applications without having to disturb yourself with trying to reach out to your prospective supervisor. But in a good proportion of the cases, you want to, try to reach out to your prospective supervisor, especially if you don't have a lot of money to just spend anyhow, like myself, right? Because this can be expensive in a way, and you really want to apply wisdom with respect to just paying for anything, trying to write any exam, paying all from application fee and all those things, right? So because of that, you really want to define what you want to do, and you don't want to be too rigid with respect to that. If you are studying this particular thing, you want to keep the bracket open. Okay, if I don't do this, I think I can do this. If I don't do this, I think I can do this. And you have to know that your background should inform the decision of whatever it is you are saying you want to do. You have to know, you have to consider your strengths, what your CV is saying, what do you think your CV is very much suitable for. And those things should help you to define your research interest. And if you are probably a final year student or a fresh graduate who you already have your first degree, but you probably like to do some other thing, and you feel your CV is not very well, not well detailed in that regard. You can start building your CV now, and okay, I want to start submitting my application maybe next year, and I need to build my CV in this regard. Take for example, like I said earlier, I studied plant breeding and seed technology, and I'm doing my master's in entomology, doing some things around precision agriculture and GIS and all that. So I think I'll just chip that in that what you've done in your undergrad is not a limitation to whatever it is you want to study, especially as far as North America is concerned. I'm using North America to include, at least US and Canada, because I know a few people who have, pivoted into. I know someone who is doing data science in Canada from a plant breeding background. So it is something that is possible. You only need to be able to like, tailor your CV, have some 1 or 2 things that you can add that can make people see that okay, you really have these skills and you're worthy of getting this opportunity, right? So yeah, like I was saying, you want to define your research interest. You want to be very sure on okay, if this is not working, then this. Let's say like you have like 3 or 4 of them. So when you define your research interest, that helps you to okay, these are the things I want to do, and that in the long run would help you in writing your SOP, in tailoring your CV. I would advise you if you have like 3 or 4 research interests, you should have 3 or 4 CVs, so that you add some things that are very specific to some things. Because I once lost a position in the University of Kentucky because I added something on food and nutritional security while submitting application to somebody who is into ornamental breeding. Just that we had meeting and all that, and he was telling me he's breeding ornamentals, flowers. So it has anything to do with food and nutritional security. So that is just one thing. So after you do that, you make research of schools in the US that are offering your course. And one thing I want you to know at this point is that you don't just, okay, this school is offering my course, let me just go for it. There are some schools that are popular for some things. While doing this, one thing I largely advise is try to just know a bit about some states in the US. Take, for example, I will tell people, if you're applying, let's say you have always been to maybe yam production, yam marketing, yam economics, agri-economics, anything yam related. I've forgotten this state now that has about, I think about 6, 7, 9 months of full sunlight that is, fully involved in yam research and production. For someone like yourself, then you want to focus on something in that area. If you say you want to work on something like poultry, there are some universities and some states that are very popular for something like that. You want to probably explore University of Georgia. Their poultry science is kind of very, very sound. You want to check some other universities. So while you are making your research about schools, you want to, so because all these things will actually help you in the long run while you're making your formal applications, probably preparing for your visa interview and all those things like that. So, and when a school is reputable for a particular thing, they tend to get a lot of funding. So you increase your chances of getting in while you apply to those schools if they have enough funding. So that helps you in that regard. And so you make your research, identify the faculties that are in those particular programs for example, you can say, okay, these are my research interests. For each research interest, I want to look for 10 universities. Let's say 4 research interests, 10 universities that are very sound, that are rooted in those disciplines. 10 universities, let's say like 3 or 4 faculties. You have 40 per research interest, right? And then you start to just briefly know about them. You can create an Excel sheet, write the name of the school, the names of the faculties, their email address, and their focus. Their focus will have to be in alignment with your research interest that you identified earlier, right? And that was why you have to identify your own research interest and know what you really want to do. So when you have that, you can now say, okay, you would reach out to maybe 2 today, reach out to 3 tomorrow. You can now start, okay, try to know 1 or 2 about them and then send a mail, tailor your profile and all those things, right? So after you define your research interest, you want to get your initial document, make formal applications, and this is one of those things that discourage people a lot, and that is why I'm structuring this in this way. You would need a lot of documents, right? But you necessarily don't need to get all documents, and you necessarily don't need to stop yourself from submitting applications because you don't have all the documents. So you can start by getting some initial documents, especially if you're following this route that I'm particularly pointing out, trying to apply for graduate assistantship, the informal route first. You can, if you have your CV and your transcript, then you are good to go. Your CV and your transcripts, and then you can write code emails. You can write email, just like Miss Faith was pointing out earlier. That was a very nice one. And you can, probably take a snap of that and, improve it, tailor it towards what you are doing and all that. So if you can get your CV and your transcript, merge them together. Merge your transcript with each of those different CV templates that you have per research interest and let them be in PDF. You have something like that. Now, you already identified your faculty and you want to start reaching out to them. Considering time difference, just like Miss Faith said earlier, you want to reach out to them just weekdays, right? And you want to make sure it is around, I would say 9 to 11, 12, because in the morning, so in 9, 11, 12, the US has different time zones. So you want to take that into consideration and know when you are reaching out to them. But you really have to consider that, right? So when you start, sending those code mails and you are reaching out to them, some of them will tell you they don't have position on. Some of them will not reply you. And one thing I learned from, some of my guys is you would have to remind them. You can send a SQL mail. Maybe you can schedule, okay, I reached out to these people this time. So after 2 weeks, you send a SQL mail. I would like to remind you about whatever, something particularly my own position. My supervisor was telling me that he already got someone that was fit for that position. And then after I sent my mail, he was like, he already has someone. And then I kept disturbing him. So when I got here, he was telling me, because I kept disturbing him, he felt, I'm very much determined to get in the position. And that was one of those things he really admired in me and all that. So some of them are busy. Trust me, some of them are busy. Imagine getting about 200, 300 mails from prospective applicants. So you have to after 2 weeks, sometimes after a week, try to, send a follow-up mail to just check on them. You like to follow up on what you're saying, and so yeah, so while you are doing that, and that is one thing you need to consider at this point is that you don't say I sent 30 code emails. I'm tired. I'm not getting any response. I'm tired. I believe Mr. Taufik sent about 90 something or 90 code emails. I sent close to 300 code emails before I got, I got some positive ones that are not very what's it called. Before I got 2 sound ones, through which I sent my application. I made just 2 formal applications. Got these, or at the verge of getting the second one, if not for the funding cuts that issue that happened in Cornell University, and everything happened the way it happened then. So while you are doing that, you have to keep at it. You have to be consistent. One thing I do is on Saturday and Sunday, I prepare 25 faculties that I want to send code mail to, identify their area, probably draft their code mail, and around 2 p.m. The funny thing is I still have the calendar on my old phone. Around 2:30 to 3:30, my Google Calendar would notify me it's time to send code email, and I will send code email 5 to those people within 45 to 1 hour, and I was doing that almost every weekday. So that is one thing you can just try to do, because it's something that really would take you some time, right? One thing that while you are trying to do that and you are resilient and consistent at doing that, you want to plan to get your strategic document. Take for example, if you don't have international passport, you want to start trying to get that, and then you want to reach out to your prospective referees. Okay, I'm trying to make applications for my postgraduate what's it called, and I would like you to write a recommendation letter for me and all that. So you can try to secure that at that point, and with time, trust me, it is just a matter of time. Yours could be just, you can just send 5 code email and you've gotten something. Yours could be just the first email. Yours could be after 500 code emails, right? But it's just a matter of time before you get interview opportunity. So after that, you prepare for your interviews, informal interview most of the time now, because if you are going to this route that I'm pointing out, you code mail before you make formal application. It saves you your money, formal application money. It saves you some kind of headache, right? So you most times get some informal interviews to meet with those peers, the faculties that you already reached out to, right? So you can prepare for that in that way. Just get to read about them more after what those things that you feel stood out for them in your code mail. Package those things more and have your interview. And these are the things that will now inform the way you structure your SOP. Now, I always advise you at least have a draft of, your research interest is very important in your SOP, and everything you'll be doing will be around your research interest and your core research question that you are posting in that particular form application. So when you have done all these things and you have gotten an informal interview with the faculty, you already know some of the things you should put in your SOP. Some things that you packaged in your code email, some things that you told him in the interview, some things that he said. He will give you some other information. If he has funding and he wants you to apply, he will have given you some other things. And those are the things that you wrap up to all the drafts that you have, and you perfect your statement of purpose and personal statement. Right now, it is after this point that you know you need to make formal application, that you now need. Of course, you should plan to get all your documents if you should, but that shouldn't deter you from starting your application. And that is why I've structured this in this way. It is then you can now say, okay, I need to get my certificate, I need to get residence permit, I need to get this particular document, I need to get this document, and then you make your formal applications, right? So after that, one thing you will need to know is that, one thing I want to point out is that when you're reaching out to faculties, let your focus be on assistant and associate professors. You know, the US has a kind of autonomy where faculties, if they have their funding, and that is the reason why people always preach code emailing. If they have their funding, they can influence the people that get to their lab because it is their funding. Of course, it is their funding. They have to. They know who they want and they know the quality they are looking for, right? And there are cases like, there are some schools that even if the faculty has a funding, your application will have to go through a kind of formal scrutiny in their admission committee. Maybe the department wants some kind of departmental structure where they would have to really scrutinize it. And there are cases where if your supervisor is saying apply, they would of course check the basic things that you should have, but you're like 75% into that school. So you see, that is one reason, and you should focus on reaching out to assistant and associate professors, because assistant professors are assistant professors because they most of them have the funding. They are just getting into the school within their first 3, 4, 5 years, and they really have to conduct research, solve the problems that they got grant for before they could get those positions, and then be able to get promoted to associate professors and all that. So assistant professors and associate professors, focus on them. They most likely have funding. Most of them have funding, at least 80% of them would always have funding. So you want to focus on them. You make your formal applications, right? And then God willing, you gain your admission, and then you prepare for your visa interview, and afterwards you pack your load and you join us. So basically, it is not as easy as I have just highlighted here, but this is just a well-structured format to getting here from there using this. And this is not all exclusive. This is not exclusive to this is exclusive to just graduate assistantship, and this is highly advised, because it could be there are some schools that you really don't need to disturb yourself with securing faculty. You might reach out to the graduate coordinator, and then the graduate coordinator is saying, okay, we run maybe a departmental or a kind of departmentally structured program where anybody who qualifies to get into the school gets into the school first, and you run a rotation. So in that case, you really don't need to reach out to faculties like that. If you reach out to faculty, it could be a plus, right? But you really don't need to reach out to faculties, because if you have the required criteria, if you meet their criteria to getting admission, you will gain admission, and you rotate labs in that department, and the one that is suitable for you, you can get into. In that case, you might want to reach out to the guidance coordinator. But in the case of this, the first point I related, it is very much effective to reach out to faculties, and if you have gotten a go ahead from a faculty, you are about 50-60%. If you have made your formal application, you are about 70% in that regard. And that is when you can say, oh, they said we should pay application fee. I want to pay 150,000, because you already have the word of your prospective supervisor to apply. You get, and that is more effective than what you have. So yeah, that is just it. My own personal experience follows what I've just related to us. I think I sent about far more than 250 code emails, secured, got some positive response, relatively positive response, and then I got strong positive response from Cornell University and then University of Georgia, and then I made formal application to both. I had a formal interview with the committee at Cornell University, Ivy League, according to them, just like the structured setting that I said earlier. And then later on, they told me they had funding cut and they won't be able to, and stuff like that. And then I got into the University of Georgia. So I made just 2 formal applications after I did send all those code emails. So roughly that is just it. But you really know, you have to know what you really are looking for. That is when you don't just run around circle. They said this is how you do it again. They said this is how you do it again. You get it. So you have to be able to define that, okay, these are the things I want to do, and this is how I'm going about it. Yeah, so that would be the little from my end. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is not little, to be honest. Really appreciate this. It's well detailed. Thank you. I think we'll just move to the next agenda. We'll spend like 55 minutes on this cover. Wow, that's a lot. And I hope everybody's learning. I hope we are jotting down things that we want to start implementing immediately. Yeah, thank you so much, Scholar Oludare. I think you can take questions now. There are some questions in the comments here. Okay, let me check it out. Okay, there are some questions that has already been answered. SOP and PS, then CV. Okay, there was a question that was asked when Scholar Faith was presenting to us. I would like to go over that question now. Okay, the person asked, does this apply to postdoc too? Are there opportunity for postdoc too? I think the question is for Scholar Faith.
I think that's a good question. While I have not, uh, obviously, I'm not doing a postdoc, and I don't know anyone that is doing that, but I've seen post on LinkedIn about, oh, there is this postdoc opportunity, but most times it's always for people that are already in the city already, or they're already in that country. I don't know if it's actually like really open to international students, but I would say you would never know until you search for it. So I would say search for it. Start looking out for opportunity. You can start with LinkedIn first. Oh, machine learning postdoc opportunities in Canada, and maybe you're able to see some. If you don't find, then you can start looking at the universities. Oh, are you open to receiving a postdoc student? You've done this and that and that. You know, put in your CV, put in all you've done, all your achievements in the past, probably 5-6 years, and just sell yourself basically. So yeah, I would not know until you try.
Permit me to button. I think there are, at least from my own experience, from the little I've seen, I think there are tons of opportunities for postdoc, right? Because personally, I think I have like 3 or 4 or 5 Africans in my department, and not all my departments. In my department, in my campus, postdocs like Africans. So there are quite a lot of them, and I think it just follows the same structure I've highlighted. At least for you, for the US, I know, right? It follows this same structure I've highlighted, and you want to communicate at the level of a postdoc as someone who has PhD. So it is very much possible, and there are quite a number of opportunities in that regard. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for answering that. Dr. Sami, do you want to say something?
Yeah, thank you. Just to chip in, like if you are trying to apply for postdoc from Nigeria, as the case may be, you might want to check Black Scholar Fellowship, Vanilla Scholarship, Fellowship, and you might also want to set code email as Scholar Face suggested. There are a lot of opportunities in Canada, but sometimes some opportunities are made for someone inside Canada, permanent resident or citizen. But nevertheless, you could try. I know someone who moved from China to Canada mid of this year with a postdoc in one university in Ontario. So there's always opportunity. Thank you.
All right, thank you for answering. I hope the person got the answer to the question. So we have somebody else raising hand. Abdulaziz Akindele.
All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are listening to me. First off, I would like to appreciate Scholar Faith Akinyemi. She happens to be a colleague back in UI. But I hope she finished the RISE. I think she was working on RISE something. Maybe she can attest to that. So my question, quickly, I have been doing some applications for masters and PhD and all of that. But I noticed that most of the applications, they'll say, okay, I need a PhD student to work in my lab, blah, 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 send your CV, your research interest. And all. So I always do that. But over time, I don't normally get response. So at some point I got, fed up, tired. So I want to ask that what could be the thing behind, most lecturers or prospective supervisors not getting back, to prospective students, be it for masters or PhD, because I have a lot of those what's it called? A lot of those applications that I do, apply, and I also make sure my emails are, customized based on the application. So that's my question. Thank you.
All right, that's a familiar struggle with most of the applicants. So I don't know, Dr. Scholar Fitz, would you like to answer that?
Hi, I'm Jaziz. When I saw the picture, I'm like, I know this face. So nice to connect with you again. And yes, I finished my project in UI before I came here. Okay, so that's a very interesting question because I've actually been in that same shoe. But I would just say keep applying, keep applying. You never can know which one would actually work. That's why you just have to keep applying, keep showing up. It gets tiring. You get tired. There are days when you're like, I've sent a lot of applications, but yeah, you have to just keep showing up. And another thing I would also say is have like an accountability partner, somebody that can keep you pushing, that can push you when when it's tiring, basically. I've been doing this for so I started my application in 2019 as soon as I was on my bachelor's, and I did that till 2023. So apparently in 2023, I just sent one application, and that was because I've been trying all along. People that I tried with, most of them have gotten it, and then it was just what's going on? And then I just applied, and somebody just said, "Oh, Faith, why not try Canada?" And I'm like, okay. And then I just tried Canada, and just the first one, and then it worked out. So I'll just say keep trying, keep showing up. You never can say sincerely. You never can say. You don't, maybe it's the next one you're going to put in that you're going to get the yes. So, and it's just 1 yes you need. So I just say keep showing up, and also try to highlight what you've done before and how it relates to that person. Just highlight that part, because it's okay to say, oh, I tailored my stuff according to the person's research interest, but highlight what you've done, highlight how you can contribute. Make it show them that, oh, if you don't hire me, I don't think you're allowed. But yeah, just highlight what you've done before, and just it'll work out at the end. And I can't wait to hear your good news.
Thank you for the motivation.
I think Taufik wants to say something.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, just to add to what Scholar Faith said with regards to Mr. Blas's question, I would say one thing you might want to look at is maybe perhaps the time when you sent the email. Maybe you might want to adjust it to the time where the supervisor or the person would be seeing it. Like Mr. Abdullah suggested the other time, make it very early in the morning, around maybe between 9 and 11 a.m. on weekdays. That would be perhaps Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And another thing I usually recommend to people is that when you see a position is already advertised, it means it will have more and more people applying for that same thing. Maybe perhaps you can try those professors that have not even made the application. They've not made it public yet. For example, for my own case, my advisor was just employed to my school when I reached out to him. He was still in a different school doing his postdoc. Then I reached out to him. I was like, oh, I can see that you just been hired at University of Georgia, and I would like to join you when you resume at University of Georgia. So he asked me for an interview the following week. We had the interview. He did not bother sending out a position for advertisement again, because he already secured somebody for the position. So what you might want to look at is, I want to target professors that have not already advertised the position yet, because once the position is already out for the public to see, it means you have more and more people to compete with when it comes to that kind of application. So You might want to look at the time you are sending the application, and then you might want to target people that have not already put out the position yet for advertisement. So that's just to buttress the point. Just keep pushing. Every one of us, we've always been in that position where we've sent emails and we've not gotten a response, but just keep pushing. All you need is just a single yes, and I'm very sure it's going to come very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. That really helps. And I hope you also listen to that. We have another person raising hand. Salahuddin Mustafa. You can ask your question. Now we take 2 more questions and we round up.
Hello.
Hi, we can hear you.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. We can hear you. Hello, can anybody hear me, please? Can you confirm if you can hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know. I think it's from his end. Okay, let's take another question from Alimat Ajoke.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
I have 2 questions. The first one is do some Canadian schools they require maybe IELTS when applying for research grants? And also, what role do recommendation letters play when applying for maybe scholarship or research grants? That's my question.
That's a very good question. English exams for research grants, I've not heard about it before. I've not heard about it. Because I feel like for you to be admitted to university, they would have assessed your English knowledge. So most times they ask for maybe like a document that shows that you took your courses in English, and which most universities in Nigeria would give you. So yeah, and for that you can get into universities, basically most universities in Canada. And for research grants, I don't think so. I've not seen that. At least I've applied to a number of grants. I've not seen the application where they ask for an English exam. So yeah, I don't think it's important. Then the second question, what is it again?
Recommendation letters.
Oh yeah, recommendation plays a very big role. Like they take recommendation very important here, to the best of my knowledge. You cannot be very good application and your recommendation, if it's not strong, or if there's a stronger recommendation from another person, that person may stand a higher chance. So yeah, they take a very it's very important here. So you want to make sure that your recommendation is very strong. And yeah, I don't know if doctor has any other thing he wants to add, since he's also in Canada.
Okay, thank you, Scholar Faith. I will just add something. As told by one retired professor, recommendation can make you or can harm you. Are you getting your recommendation letters from someone who has supervised you, mentored you, or taught you, or you are just selecting random person to be your recommenders? And also, can the person vouch for your accountability, credibility, your loyalty to work, working with team members, communication skills, and your ability to learn under stress? As we all know, there's no need to lie. Research is always full of stress. Yeah, it's not like physical stress, it's mental stress, whereby you have to conceive ideas, come up with a novelty, and all those kind of stuff. So, and just like Scholar Face said, you want to be what? You want to be strategic in those you are going to select to be your what? To be your recommenders. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for answering the question. Salahuddin, do you still want to ask question? I think.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. You can go ahead now.
Yeah, from the first speaker, Mr. Speak, if I'm not mistaken, he made mention of a point that an applicant must go through the school website. So I want to ask, is there a way that we can get the school website directly in the process of their application.
What do you mean by get the school website? Like, for example, if you search for University of Toronto, when you search for
Yes,
it will give you a
okay.
website. So just click on it and it takes you there.
From my experience, there are some
Yeah.
schools that if you search on Google, for example, now, they don't give you the website of that. Or if they give you, it's not always be the right website. Maybe develop one by website developer, another one. So to my experience, it seems like those websites are not, if you pass through a Google link, that's what I'm saying, are
So
not the main website of the school.
so if you go through Google and you click on University of, most times you get the website, but if you don't, maybe there is like ads. So you also need to know, you need to be able to recognize an ad from the original website. So if you see ad in front of you, then you know that, oh, probably this is an ad. You can just scroll down, then you see the original, the website that has HTTPS. That's the original website. If you are confused about that, you could go on LinkedIn, search for the name of the university. Most times their website is always on their about page. So yeah, you should be able to get that.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. I was also going to mention their social media page. Most of the time, the website is always on their social media page. So that you don't get to use another school's link or one that is not legitimate. Okay, thank you for answering the question. We have another hand raised. Then after this, we round up for the day. Ahmed Karima Tomolara.
Yeah, thank you for the section. So I just want to ask about sending code mails. So is it advisable to actually send multiple code mails to lecturer? I mean, like sending code mails to multiple people within the same faculty, or do you have to have like maybe a waiting space, maybe wait for someone to reply before you send to another one within the same school, the same department? So like, what's the way out with that?
That's a very good question. I don't know how to answer this, but I hope that I would also get a response from Taufik and probably from Doctor. If I would advise you, I would say no. Just look for the best person, because these professors also communicate to each other. So if they find out that, oh, you've been sending to everybody, they're like, oh, I don't think this person is serious, especially if the research interest is not matching. I remember there was a time that somebody reached out to me. The person reached out to a supervisor in my university, and his research interest was not really matching, but at least it probably was the closest. So he reached out anyways. And after that, he wanted to like reach out to another person, and he didn't get a response from any of them. So it's very dicey, sincerely. I would say just reach out to the best person you feel like, oh, I think this is the person I want to work with in this university. Just reach out to that person, because you never can say these people might be talking to each other. They might be like, oh, speaking to each other, and like, this person has been sending emails to me. Or it could even be when they're having like their staff meeting where they're trying to deliberate on who they are bringing in, and they find out that, oh, you've sent to like 3 or 4 people in the department. So yeah, it could be a red flag. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So, but what in the case whereby you don't get a response from a particular person? I mean, after sending, maybe follow up. So, is it not advisable to maybe contact someone else, or just keep contacting the first person?
Imane, do you want to take that?
Yeah, what I was thinking is, because I think you're very much correct, Ms. Faith, and but there are exceptions, right? Because there are cases where I've reached out to, take for example, when my PI in Cornell University, he particularly told me to reach out to 2 other lecturers in the same department that would be on the admission committee. I'm going to his lab. it was not even like it is open, I can go to anybody. I'm going to his lab, but he told me to reach out to 2 other persons because of, because they are both on their admission committee, right? And there are also cases where you can take just like this second case you were pointing out now. You can probably reach out to someone a week before and the person is not responding, and then you decide to reach out to the next person. And so I think that's like normal, because there are even cases where you reach out to some people, they tell you they don't have funding, but you can reach out to other people in the lab. They can even recommend you to, you can check other people's research work and see how your work is related and all that. Because I think it's Taufik that used to tell me this thing. Like, some of these people believe that they know what we do. They know that these things are like normal thing. Like, if I'm applying to your lab, if you don't have funding or you're not giving me the response, it is just normal that I apply to. But one thing you just want to do, like, wisdom requires that you can, if you have a list of faculties you are reaching out to, you can say, okay, if you reach out to this person in this department in this same field today, you might want to, if you want to reach out to another person in that department in a different research interest, let it be like maybe the week after, right? Because if you are even if you are reaching out to 2 different faculties in the same lab and you are pitching the same research interest, I think there's nothing really serious with it, because you are reaching out to 2 faculties with the same research interest, and it could even spark, just from a different perspective now, it could even spark this person has this portfolio, I think I would like to have him, rather than having Dr. So have him. Right. So if it is within the same research interest, I think personally now, I think you can reach out to them around the same time. But if it is 2 different research interests within the same department, you could probably space it, and let's say after a week, if the first person is not responding, then you move with the next person. Just my own take.
Okay, thank you very much for that insight.
Yeah, I think I saw Dr. Jimos on the other time. Maybe Dr. Jimos can have something to it. Dr. Jimos, sir.
Dr. Jimo is on this call.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, wow.
Dr. Jimo, we cannot hear you. Dr. Jimo, I think your microphone is not on. His microphone is not on. He's trying to connect.
Leave it there.
Dr. Jimo, I think maybe perhaps you can put up the microphone and try it again.
I'm even trying to check if he's still on the call. I think he's still on the call. Probably not close to his device or something. Okay, there's no more on the call. Probably network issues.
I think it's back. Dr. Jimo, are you back?
I think he's trying to speak, but we can't hear him.
Okay, so with regards to sending multiple code emails to faculties within the same department, so one thing you might want to look at, just like what Mr. Oludari said, is that you yourself, what are those fields that you are not capable of working with. Let me give it as an example myself. So my undergrad was in animal genetics and breeding. My master's is in precision agriculture, precision livestock science. So anything that has to do with meat science, anything that has to do with microbiology, anything that has to do with biochemistry, animal nutrition, you will not see me there. So there is no reason why I should send a code email to professors that are working in that field. So a lot of professors that are in the same department, you will see that, for example, animal science, under animal science, or animal genetics and breeding, precision livestock science, animal nutrition. So now if I want to send a code email, I would definitely not send code email to somebody in meat science. I will not send code email to somebody in in biochemistry or animal nutrition or all of those fields that are not my field, right? So just like Darius suggested, you might want to reach out to those professors, because this themselves, they know that, oh, if this person, if I don't have funding, person will reach out to someone else. When I was sending my application, I sent a code email to a professor in this my same department. It was in animal genetics and breeding. When I sent him an email, so he told me that, oh, I can see that your background is in poultry science. My background is in animal genetics and breeding, but I don't work with poultry. So what he did was that he copied a professor in poultry science to that email I was responding me to, was replying me to. He copied the professor in poultry science under the same genetics and breeding and told me to message that professor that maybe perhaps if he has funding, I can work with him. Then I reached out to the professor, but he told me he doesn't have funding. So what it implies is that there's opportunity for you to reach out to multiple professors, but you should work it. You should do it in such a way that you are you are very precise in what you are sending, because it doesn't make sense that you sent an email to somebody in animal genetics and breeding, somebody in meat science, somebody in microbiology. They will say that this person is not serious. It's just sending email around. You understand? So that's just my own contribution. I really wish Dr. Jimo can add to it for us. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. Okay, Dr. Jimo is responding in the comments. Let me check it. Oh, the mic. Okay. He just responded. All right, it's giving us more insight on how to go about this. So he's agreeing with sending emails to the faculty in the same department. Okay, yeah, he responded to that, and also, oh, okay. Yes, we need to be more strategic about the application and also sending code emails. We need to be very strategic. That means being very intentional about it. All right, thank you so much for your insights. Thank you. We got it, sir. Thank you. Okay, Dr. Semi, do you have something to say? I can see your hand.
Yes, I just want to add to what the scholars have said. Like when you send code email, Dr. Jima Sahi just said that you have to be strategic. I know of someone who sent code email to a professor in University of Florida, rice breeding, but unfortunately that professor did not have funding that time. But the professor loved the code email so much, liked the background of that person, and he copied his colleague in his response like, this guy might be a good candidate for you, even though that professor works in lettuce. And could you believe that guy joined the professor, that new professor, to be working on lettuce breeding, which shows that a strong code email could also allow people to even copy their colleagues, give you some suggestion, but it has sending generic code emails. So professors, faculty members are so busy. If you send I remember when I was sending code emails to China, I have to be awake 3 a.m., which will be 10 a.m. China time. And if you want to have, for a professor to even know that you are a good candidate, they don't want to send you email and you are replying after 4 days. It shows that if they give you a project to handle, you might be replying them late. So our attitude while we are sending code email is what is also important. Thank you.
Thank you for the addition. Can we take this one more question, then we can wrap it up? All right, thank you. Temidayo, you can ask your question now. Well, thanks.
I'm so sorry. I joined late, so I'm so sorry. I think I didn't set a reminder, and I have been anticipating the meeting, so it really pained me. I don't know. The question I am going to ask, probably it has been asked before, it has been addressed before. The question is GRE still very important to write? And then the second question is my research experience in terms of publications or number of publications, or is it quality of publications that matter? Then another question I want to ask Ma, I'm so sorry that I'm asking is, I don't know, I know the meeting is being recorded. I want to ask if it should be possible to have like the recorded meeting sent to HOSA.
Okay, no problem. We understand that they're not able to join us early as possible. So the recording will be sent to everybody that registered for this session. So you'll be on the lookout for that in your email. You will get it latest by next week when we have it ready. So for the two other questions, I don't know who is ready to respond to that. I think you asked two questions. Scholar Faith, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, but I really can't answer the question for GRA. I want to believe you're talking about the US schools, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So maybe the guys in the US can answer that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the question should be, do you have the resources to write GRE? If no, because there are schools that would require you write GRE, there are schools that you can get in without writing GRE, and it also depends on your program, right? So what you want to do is make your research and see if you can get schools that are offering your program without you submitting your GRE results. So I believe, depending on your program, though, I believe you should be able to like get quite a few of them, depending on your program, on your portfolio, how sound your portfolio is. So if you do have that, then you can just focus on making applications to school that do not require you probably writing, and this includes IELTS too, GRE, IELTS, TOEFL, and all those. Some people waste evaluation, so you want to like make your research about that and see. So if your program would those schools and focus on those schools and make applications, that's just one thing.
Yeah, exactly. So what happened is that those other additions that we had to our application materials, the GRE and the likes, all of those things, what they just do is they boost they give you more opportunities to explore, more schools to explore. So you not having them in itself does not really reduce your chances. Like myself, I never wrote IELTS, I never wrote GRE, I never wrote any exam. Was my what's it called? My transcript from FUNAB was submitted directly from my application. And in fact, the school did not even require English proficiency or anything that has to do with English test. So depending on if you have the resources, fine. If you have, do it. It will boost your chances. Then when it comes to publication as well, if you can publish, fine. But if you cannot, it doesn't necessarily reduce your chances. But if you have it, it's an addition to what you have. For example, my current program was when I got in that I got to know that GRE was actually required. But my advisor already said, since I already did well in this interview and you could see that I speak English well, like there was no reason why I should stress myself and go ahead and write GRE or any other thing. So that's just it. And one last thing I just want to add to it is that talking about code email is not all programs that require you to write code email. And at least I am very sure of chemistry. I know of chemistry very well. You don't even need an advisor for you to apply for chemistry PhD, direct PhD. But my friend in California and even my colleagues here in my current school, UG here, they never secured a professor. They just sent their application, direct PhD chemistry, and they got into the program after having an interview with the panel of faculty members. And that's that. So for chemistry, I'm very sure of chemistry, 100% sure that you don't even need a supervisor for you to apply for chemistry PhD. Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. It
Thank you,
has been
sir.
a wonderful session. And honestly, if we keep asking questions, there's a lot of questions to ask about this. And we can't answer everything on this call. So Okay, so Dr. Temi is also adding to that rotational research might not require code email. So that's also important to note. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. So I would like to give my own brief takeaway from this session, and that goes to what Ms. Faith told us earlier, that the future belongs to those who believe in their dream, and she needs. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, you need to be very intentional about whatever you are doing, and what is what doing is what's doing well. If you're really determined to go for to further your education abroad and you want to go through the scholarship route, you need to be very intentional about it because it is very competitive, but it's still possible that you get it. We have people among us here who have gotten the opportunities and they are currently studying, they are doing their research program. So that's a sign that it is very possible. So let's have that in mind. It might not be easy, but it's very, very possible. Thank you so much. So this live session is brought to us by SAWOB Concept. SAWOB Concept is a consulting agency for study abroad. If you are planning to move to further your education, either US, Canada, UK, China, Japan, we are very much here at your service to guide you through the process. We can help you review your application documents and give you strategic roadmap to follow so that you will not waste time, money, and efforts. We are not affiliated with scholarships, but we have the experience and the adequate knowledge to guide you on how to go about your study abroad process. That's what we do at SAWOB Concept. So our social media links is in the comment section. Follow us on social media. You can send us a DM. We are very much active to respond to your messages and answer your questions. And if you need any follow-up guidance, we are very much active on social media. You can reach out to us. Thank you all. Dr. Semi, I want you to give us a takeaway, the final words from you, and some other announcements. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Scholar Faith, Scholar Taufik, Scholar Oludare. Personally, I'm really motivated by all of them for their inspirational talk, educative, and I have a takeaway from this presentation that was given by Scholar Faith. Our intention must be justified. Our action must be able to justify our intention. Yeah, that's just my take home. We need to keep trying. And one of the questions is like, you sent code email to a professor is not replying. Please just keep going. I've sent a code email to a professor requesting for master's, PhD. That was in 2015. He didn't reply. Today, I do call him name. That's the way Canada works. Now he's my principal investigator, but we do call ourselves names, which shows that we just need to keep going, and there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. Next month, we are going to be having a webinar that will be on. Sorry, let me just share my screen. Yeah, next month, we'll be having another webinar on how to navigate Japan, exploring study opportunities in Japan for sustainable leadership and innovation. And why are we interested in Japan next? Because it's one of the leading countries in the world when it comes to research. And to be candid, I did my PhD in China. I'm presently in Canada, but doing graduate study in Japan is one of the challenging programs it could be. And nobody else will be speaking. That will be Chimere Awagu Ikele. She finished her master's in Japan, and presently she's a PhD student in the US, which shows that not every one of us is going to start from Canada, Japan, Australia, UK, Europe. We need to start our journey from somewhere. So please feel free to stay tuned on our social medias and watch out for our next webinar, and also feel free to connect to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Selim. So we have another webinar coming up next month, and you definitely don't want to miss that. So stay tuned, follow us on our social media so you get the registration link so that you'll be able to attend and listen to another scholar that we are bringing on board. And to our scholars, thank you very much. We are really grateful. Please,
Hello?
please mute your mic. Okay. Thank you so much. This has been really insightful and very, very practical. Even for me, I've been learning a lot and jotting things down. Thank you, Scholar Taufik. Thank you, Scholar Faith, and thank you, Scholar Olugari. We really appreciate your time and for sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you so much. I think so. The recording we are recording the session. You'll get it in your email by next week. So don't worry, you can always check back, listen to the insight that has been shared with us. So I want to see everybody's emoji. If you really enjoyed this session, I want you to react with emoji to appreciate our panelists, our scholars in the house, and appreciate SAWOB Concept for bringing this. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think we can call it a day now. So don't forget to follow us on our social media platform. The link is in the comment section. SAWOB Concepts. SAWOB SAWOB_concept. Follow us then on our website too, www.sawobconcept.com. You see our services there. You can book a call with us for more guidance on your study abroad process. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you all for joining. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. Some of us are already in the evening time. Thank you. Bye.